Hi Nikki, how's things been?
Yeah, I've been alright. How have you been?
Very well, thank you. I know you've been a busy lady. The children in bed?
No, we've just come. Can you believe it? We just got in. We're just sitting there and eating.
Oh.
One ate, and then the other one's just finishing eating.
Okay, well I'm very grateful that you've given us this time tonight, and I just did a very brief introduction, and I just wondered whether you might just tell us just a little bit about you, Nikki.
I'm not very good at things like this, but I'll try. Is that how you want? Is that what you want?
Well, just to say, you know, I've mentioned that you live in London, you're a mother, you've lived with eczema since childhood.
Yeah, since I was a child, yeah.
So,
and now in my late 40s, and finally learning to cope with it. But I've, it's just living with it, isn't it, really, and keeping it under control. And just watching what you're eating. It's now become such a hype to become vegan and watch your diet and how it's all related, how before it never was.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, what the science we had back in my, obviously when I was a young kid in the 70s, it's a lot different to the science today, isn't it?
It is a lot different. So maybe if you just wanted to start with some of your earlier memories living with eczema as a child. I mean, when did it all start? How old were you?
Well, I must have been quite young because I remember my parents saying that it started because of chickenpox. And that's how, they actually remember it.
It started with chickenpox?
Yeah, it started at nearly at the same time, so it must have had something to do with the immune system.
Right. So how old were you at that time when you got the chickenpox?
I must have been about 2 or 3.
Oh wow, so you were very young.
Very young, yeah. So I think I might have even been about 3, 4 actually.
Right.
Because I remember we all had it, like all of us sisters, and I didn't have, my brothers weren't born. There's 6 of us, by the way. So.
Wow, big family.
And not only that, you say about being busy. Today, my niece surprised us. She went to Albania to go and meet her boyfriend, because he was out there, and they decided to get married today. So at 11:20, she just sent through pictures of him signing something in the registry office.
So what? That must have been a surprise.
Surprises today. I'm just like,
oh my goodness.
It's not even a whim, and I'm like, oh well, it's lockdown anyway. What else could we do?
Yeah.
But her mom's obviously a little bit upset. But there you go. Obviously all her, because obviously I'm her auntie, and then there's 6 of us alone in this household.
Yeah.
So we're a bit, overwhelmed.
Shock. Maybe they could do it all over again, a time when everybody can be together.
Sorry?
Maybe they can do it all over again.
They're going to have a little party. Well, they've said they're going to have a little party, like when they get back together and the whole lockdown situation all calms down a bit.
Yeah.
With lockdown, I can understand as well, they were living together, and then he had gone back to go see his family.
Yes.
And then they just decided, right, okay, she came to visit them, and then they just decided today, let's go and walk into a registry office and get married.
And they just eloped.
Yeah, just like that. So we were like, okay.
Right. Well, Nikki, do you have any childhood memories of what it was like growing up with eczema? Maybe you could share some of your first memories.
Because obviously, being a girl and all that, obviously you want to wear your dresses, you want to wear your shorts. I mean, my parents always dressed me up, in shorts and dresses anyway. I don't think they ever felt, anything anything was as severe or needed to be looked at. Because I think in their mindset it was something, and like the doctors had always said, she'll go at it. You know, when they have it young, they'll go out of it as they grow older. And I think that was always in their mindset. Am I right? Is that a majority of the cases?
The majority, well, some people do actually grow out of eczema, and some it carries on, like yourself, later on into your later years. But some people have it either worse earlier on and it's milder, or vice versa. What has that been like for you? Has it been worse, or have you got it under control?
I've got it a little bit, but I thought I had it under control. And up to about, I'd say about 3 years ago, I suddenly came up with some really major issues in my actual, in my physicalness. And also, I've noticed one thing as well, and I've noticed it has got a lot to do with immunity and your immune system. Because, sorry, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh yeah, sorry. So, I think, because 3 years ago,
Yes.
about 4 years ago, I started coming up with a really bad pain. Like my pain would be on the top of my arms. And I just put it down to, it must be the way I'm sleeping. It must be my work, because I work for like 12-hour shifts. It must be this, or it must be that. You know, when you just start putting it down to, God, maybe it's just old age, my arms are really hurting. And then eventually I went to go and see a doctor, because I just kept putting it down to, it is the way I'm sleeping, because I do night shift as well, so I've always done night shift. I think that's another thing as well with my vitamin D. But, and I do believe that it is something to do with your immune system, because when I was having these pains, little did I know, it was actually arthritis that was developing.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think, and not only that, I think with the medication I'm on for my arthritis, which is the methotrexate, I think because it lowers your immune system, I found that my eczema got worse. But I didn't put two and two together until, you start thinking, why did it go so bad? It got so bad about 3 years ago. What happened in my life 3 years ago? There was a lot of trauma in my life 3 years ago. And I think that was an offset. And I think the immune system, it actually plays such a huge part in your body.
You're absolutely right. In the case of eczema sufferers, the immune system is compromised. So you mentioned earlier on a little bit about diet, and that helps in order to strengthen and support the immune system, because the immune system has been weakened and you need to strengthen the immune system. And what with stress factors, with you going through that trauma that you just mentioned, and also working nights as well, so you're not having your normal sleeping patterns, and you've got children to manage as well, so you're busy and you're living with the daily stresses. And of course, if you fall ill, again, your immune system needs more support. So it kind of works against you, which is why the diet, following some kind of diet that actually helps to boost the immune system, is going to support you greatly. So, I mean, what have you found that, I mean, maybe diet-wise, or any other tips you can offer that has really supported you? Because you've lived with this all your life.
That's right, yeah. I mean, I like most people, you try the old wives' tales. I come from an Indian heritage, so my auntie's always like, put some mustard oil on it. Mustard oil is the best thing for your skin, they don't try to be doctors. So I'd always follow what they had to say, And then I try so many. I would try so many potions, so many creams, even the doctor's creams, even E45. You know, there's different types of E45s as well. I don't know if you noticed, but I've tried those. I've tried them in the bath. I've tried them outside, and they just weren't moisturising enough, and they didn't moisturise for a long time. Like me, you know, like I said, I work 12-hour shifts, so before I go to work, I'll moisturise, and then when I come back, and I'll notice as well that with your product, my skin is actually still moisturised. Where before I'd use a product, and then the next thing I know is when I got home, it'd be just, you know, horrible and crispy to, you know, so it sounds so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people find that there isn't enough,
especially in the summer, in the winter.
so more so in the winter, the dryness is more chronic.
Yes, for sure.
And remind me again what product you purchased. Was that the Eucalyptus Dermazeam?
It was the Dermazeam, the original product.
It was the Dermazeam skin renewing cream, that's right.
Yeah, and then I purchased a few others for my family and stuff, because I do believe that a little bit of this is hereditary as well. You know, maybe not to that extent, but I do believe it is, because my nephew, he has a bit of eczema on his hands, where I've got it on my ankles and my elbow, and then I've got a bit of itchiness on my head, so I've got the scalp one as well. And then my niece's baby was born, and he had a little bit of he's got it on his right side of his outer ankle.
Right.
So I gave him the baby Dermazeam, and then my brother's got psoriasis. But the weird thing is, last year this time, he didn't have anything. And then I went to, because obviously it was lockdown, but we could meet in each other's garden. So we decided, like all six of us, just to get together, and we'd go into his garden, because he's got quite a big garden. So it's the first time I went out, because I was vulnerable. I'm on the vulnerable side of things. So I went out, and then I said to him, "What's that on your leg?" I thought he had burnt himself. And then he went, "Oh, it's psoriasis, you know." And then his missus started saying to me, "Oh, it just came up, blah, blah, blah." And then they popped around to mine, because you're allowed to have a visitor now, you're out of your bubble. So as a single person, you're allowed to have people come to your house. And then him and her, yeah, they both came round, and then I just started using that Dermazeam, and then I said to them, I said, "Look, I've been using this, and it's worked on Calmie as well," because I gave Calmie, because back then you used to do the smaller bottles, kind of jar things. So I said, I gave him some as well. "Did he tell you about it?" And he said, "No, but I'd be interested." I said, "All right then." So his missus actually took your website and ordered them.
Right. And how has it worked on his psoriasis?
You know what she said? It's actually worked really well.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good news, isn't it?
That's really good news.
And I feel as well that, oh my God, you know what? You feel as if you've done something for someone. And I know it sounds, oh God, what's the word? Not like I'm the doctor now in the family, but it feels like you helped somebody. You know, because for years I had to suppress myself. And like I was saying, you know, like when I was a kid, my parents would dress me up, you know, like a normal girl, because there was three of us. And most of the time I had the hand-me-downs anyway. And as I grew older, once I started realising, hold on, I'm not the same. And in PE lessons, everyone getting changed. And you know, like back in those days, we used to wear pimsoles, like the black pimsoles.
Yes.
Not like they wear trainers nowadays with socks and stuff. We just had to wear pimsoles. And I remember, like, somebody just staring at me and saying, "So you got something on your ankle?" And I'd be like, "Oh, no, yeah, it's I've got," and then I'd say in Indian, like, you know, I've got chickenpox. Because that is the way my parents always I always heard it through my parents.
Yeah.
And they said, oh my God, you got chickenpox. And then it was just spread around school and the teacher was like, oh my God, have you got chickenpox? My parents sort of, don't forget, they had come from India. We had moved down to the Midlands.
Yeah.
So then it was oh yeah, that's right, yeah, we call it Martha. So they said, yeah, she's had chickenpox. And they'll be like, oh no, but that was a long time ago. So then they'll be like, oh okay, because she said she had chickenpox, and that's how I recall it. And I remember then people used to ask me, and then my parents took me to the doctors, and it was eczema, and they gave me some white, like milky stuff to put on it, like to try and dry it out, I think, and other creams and stuff. And then obviously I used the family's recipes, and yeah. So yeah, quite a lot of like bits and bobs.
And you did a bit of searching online just before you found Dermazeam.
That's right, because it was lockdown. So I thought, what better way to start, sort of focusing on myself a little bit. And also try to get away out of this cycle, because the cycle, once you're in this cycle, it's a really horrible cycle, and it doesn't matter how much you meditate or how much you try to not think about it, it's the itchiness. The itchiness and the constant bleeding is the cycle. It just never stops, and that's what it was with me. I used to get depressed because I could never wear anything white, white long sleeved, or sandals. This summer I just kept away from sandals. But we didn't really go out that much, to be honest with you, either.
So since you did a bit of Googling online, you put in the words natural remedy, was it?
Yeah, I wanted to go natural, yeah. So I put in natural creams for eczema. And it came up, yours and some others as well. And I did purchase the other ones first only because of the reviews and the name, I think. Because it was branded, and it was branded in such a way because it was helping, people in Cambodia, helping start up schools and all that. But no offense to the product, it might be working on a lot of people, but it just didn't match me, if you understand what I mean, because it just left everything coloured. It was like a greeny colour.
Was that the one you mentioned called what was the name of the brand?
It was Topics.
Topics.
Yeah, it was I've got it in my...
And that didn't work for you at all?
No, the tropical creams, no. They didn't help me at all. I'll get the name in a bit. Yeah, it didn't help me. I bought two as well, thinking, hold on, I've got to give it a good bash. Because I always think to myself, right, okay, I use something, and then I just give up on it. And I've got to start now using something, and I've got to stick to it.
Yeah, be consistent.
Yeah. And then my friend saw me once, because her in-laws had come from abroad, so she couldn't come out for ages actually. And then when her in-laws came, they said, well, you got another 10 more days for isolation, and then you can go out as well. So she was like, oh, okay. Then she came over, and then she started talking to me about stuff. And I said, you know what, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but my eczema's got really bad in the last 3 years.
So is that in your scalp? Is that dry, itchy and flaky?
Yeah.
Did you use the Eucalyptus Dermazeam for your scalp?
I do, that's what I use now.
And so the body's been fine, and the scalp?
Yeah, because I just wanted to stop that itchy cycle. Because you're just always constantly picking. If I'm just sitting there watching a movie, I just start, my fingers would automatically. Yeah, and I just wouldn't even be thinking about it. I'd just be like there, just rubbing it, just sitting there, just And I would, you know, if somebody else was around, I'm more cautious about it. Because it's just me sitting there, you know, because you get a lot of me time now as well. You seem to be doing you know, all those bad habits more often.
That's right. You've got more time in your hands.
Yeah.
And boredom.
I'm not only that, no one's going to see you.
Yeah, that's right. You're not going to the places you would normally go.
Yeah.
So have you found that, so you mentioned the itching, so how has the itching been, having used the Eucalyptus Dermazeam in the scalp and the Dermazeam skin renewing on the body?
Right, okay, so the body, I find that it moisturizes a lot longer, and the scent, and also it doesn't discolor your clothes, which is really nice. What I do is when I shower, and then I'll use some in those areas, and then on my head, I'll put it through my fingers first, so it doesn't look too greasy. Because don't forget, I'm on the opposite side of you guys, where I come in the morning, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So I don't want my pillow covered in grease or a greasy kind of, you know, substance. So once I come out of the shower, if I put it on then, I find it absorbs into the skin quicker. You know, like a moisturizer, like a body moisturizer, when you come out of the shower, it's better to put it on.
Yes.
So I just find it, you know, I might be using it wrong, but for me it worked.
No, that's the perfect way to use it.
Oh, good, because as my hair's drying, then I know that my scalp's drying, and you know, and it's getting absorbed in there, rather than afterwards, because I've got quite thick hair as well, so I don't want my hair to feel as if it needs a lot more as well, because I can't get to the hair then. While it's wet, I can get to my scalp.
And how has the itching been on your scalp and body since using the Dermazeam selection?
A lot better. I even showed, this is the first time I've even actually, when my brother came round, that was the first time I ever picked up my sleeve. And my sister-in-law at the time was like, oh my God, I didn't even realise you had that. And I said, yeah. I said, it's a lot better now. And I felt like a lot more confident. I still don't think I'm at that confident stage where I'd wear a t-shirt, you know, outside. But I was confident, you know, I'd wear on holidays. I'd wear like my, you know, like holiday, because I always think, God, you're just away from people and no one's going to judge you.
How long have you been using both of the Eucalyptus Dermazeam and the Dermazeam skin renewing cream now?
I think about 6 months.
6 months.
Am I right?
I would have to go back and look at when you first purchased, but you've been back to order. And I just have one more question. I'm just curious to know that whilst you've stopped the itching so much, has the skin, the wounds, like, you know, you get the lacerations, have they started to heal?
They started healing around where the actual main eczema was. So I'm quite confident that in time, and you have to give everything time, that in time it will reduce it. If it got better, and I think when I introduced my brother to it, it must have been about a good another two months ago. So it has improved a lot. And I wouldn't stick to a cream if I didn't know if it was working. Because I'm one of those, I will just keep bouncing about until something works. And the other thing is as well, I started going to about a month, 5 weeks ago, I went to go and see because when my friend came round, she actually said to me, she goes, I'm going to get you off the methotrexate because of your immune system. I'm going to take you to oh God, what are they called? I keep forgetting my words today.
You've had a busy day, you've been running around the children.
Yeah, a natural herbalist, what are they called?
Oh, naturopath.
And sorry?
Naturopath?
No, this is a oh God.
I'm sure it will come back to you.
Yeah, but she does all the natural. Like, you know, she'll check your body and tell you what you need and all the rest of it, you know, what you're lacking in, magnesium or whatever it is. And then she'll... Homeopathic medicine.
That's right.
Sorry.
So, Nikki, what can you really leave us with as to anyone out there who is going through a lot in terms of...
Well, my first thing is, I know that doctors mean well, and I'm not misjudging anybody. At the end of the day, you know, they've got their degrees for a reason. But to me, it was all about going natural. And all the ingredients in your products are 100% natural, and it's what the body needs. It needs to be moisturized. It needs all that, because that's half the pain of eczema, is when you got dry skin and it starts the itching cycle. Sorry.
The body, the skin, inside and out, needs to be nourished. So
that's right.
What did you tell your homeopath what you have been using in terms of?
Yeah, so I showed her. I said, "Oh, have you heard of Carol's kitchen products?" And then she said, "No, I haven't." So I showed her, because she said to me, she goes, "I want you to start using the coconut oil or something a little bit more, you know." And I said, "Actually, I use this." And then she said, "That's perfect." She goes, "Oh my God, it's got shea butter in there, it's got like lavender," and she was reading out the ingredients, and she said, "You know what?" She goes, "Stick to this, because this is really good stuff." She goes, "I didn't even know about this." That was her.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, I did enough research, because at the time my daughter was suffering with eczema, you know, I was studying nutrition, aromatherapy, understanding about the benefits and wanting to have something completely natural like you. I mean, as a parent, I tried everything and I just couldn't find anything that was working, and it's gone and it's exceeded my expectations in terms of what it did for my daughter, but seeing what it's doing for people like you and many others, it's been amazing hearing your story tonight as well as other people. And I just want to thank you very, very much for coming on here. Thank you. And telling your story.
You know what? I don't think I'd feel this confident. You know, I never spoke about my eczema to anyone. It's only my immediate family that ever knew.
Thank you.
You know, like I said, my sister-in-law, she's been married into our family for, 8 years? And she didn't even know I had it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I said to her, I said, yeah, you know, hence I never really walk around without any socks. And with Indian stuff as well, you know, when you wear sandals and stuff, I've never gone with the shorter leg trousers and stuff. I've always had it long. You know, and I said, that's probably why you've never noticed it. You know, and I'd always wear like dresses, or if I wear a skirt, I'd always wear boots.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, luckily I've got my eczema in places where I can hide it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm only, you know, the only thing is then, once you start hiding it all these years, you live to hide.
Yeah.
You know, you learn to live to hide, and I'm really sad that it's come to this phase in my life where I've, you know, started to think, actually I need to do something. And even the homeopathic lady, she was saying to me, she goes, I don't want you eating red meat, I want you off the dairy products. You can have milk, because I know you can't live without your coffee and stuff, I'll give you something, but try to go dairy free.
And that's helped you too?
It's helped me immensely.
That's brilliant.
I think, yeah, because that's only been 5 weeks. And even that, you know, I think, all right, it's a little bit on going to the right direction. It's not taking drugs. It's not taking tablets. I'm reducing my methotrexate. And I'm going to have a blood test now as well. So I'm going to see whether or not my arthritis has actually gone down.
Well, you know what? The lockdown has been a godsend for some. Yeah. I wouldn't say many, but people. But you've really taken it to the next level. You're taking the time now to help yourself, support yourself in what you need to do, and it's paying off, which is absolutely brilliant.
Before, I was stuck in a rut. You know, if I wasn't busy with work, it's busy with the girls, it's busy with this, it's busy, you know, it's just non-stop. And with lockdown, everything slowed down. And I thought it was just a little bit more better. You know, obviously you got to stop yourself in that cycle as well.
Yes.
But you think, hold on, I'm just going to be watching a movie now, catching up on my extended, and I can do this. You know, I'll just sit here and just pick my head. Because I can. Because, you know,
yeah.
I just feel as if...
And it doesn't matter because nobody's going to see me, so...
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, one of the things I do, and I may already have mentioned this, and you are more than welcome to join if you're able to, join our eczema community on Facebook, where I support people through nutrition and natural topical solutions in managing eczema. I provide information about the alternative ways of how you can actually manage eczema, because there are times when the eczema are in different stages and everybody's got different conditions.
Yeah, and I think it's trauma as well. Whenever I have like bad news or something I can't cope with, I notice that I just go straight for the itch. It just it's an automatic. It's just something that happens in your body. It's a habit.
It's become a habit. It's become a habit.
Yeah,
well,
it's become a habit.
The group is a community of eczema sufferers, both parents and individuals, and there we share the stories like yours, which we will be putting up on the community group. And again, I would like to invite you there. I will send the link. If you wish to join, you can. But I thank you very, very much for sparing the time tonight with your busy, you know, looking after the children. And I know you're working nights. And thank you once again.
You know, they're fun products, and you know, I just wish that more people could see that, because for me it's always been like word of mouth, and I wish somebody had told me about it. You know, like I had.
Well, thank you so much for recommending it, and thank you for tonight. And I'm going to wish you a good evening, and we will catch up, because I'm going to be back in touch with you to find out how you're doing, and let's hope that next summer you'll be able to put those sandals on and wear the higher legged trousers.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to be in touch with you as well, because I want some of that eucalyptus oil.
Yes. Absolutely. It's my handmade oil, and you're more than welcome. Get in touch with me and
Lovely.
I can get that sent out to you.
Thank you. Oh, take care.
You too, Nikki. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good night. Bye. Because we're a family-run business. There's myself, my son, and my daughter. Before she was even eating clean, she was getting results, but it's got better and better.
As well as dealing with the eczema at that time, I was dealing with the harsh realities of growing up.
They wouldn't let us in. I don't think they believed that I was the host. I'm passionate about what I do, and I share what I do, and she's a living testimony. I don't want to cry.